This is Also Cool Sounds Like. I'm Alejandra. I have 3 positive space pieces in my closet. 2 are from their own line, an oversized white button-down with the classic outline of a woman's face on the front, and a pair of flared black pants with the profiles of 2 people kissing on the hip. The other is a piece of bell tower merch, the most stunning red jacket with a gold zipper and the bell tower design by Quinn on the back. Honestly, all 3 pieces would look great together if I weren't worried about fangirling too much. But here I am fangirling because really all of Positive Space's clothes are great. It's not surprising considering how cool the concept itself is, but they execute it fabulously too. The concept behind Positive Space is to provide sustainable merch to artists who are looking for alternatives to the typical mass-produced t-shirts. Lisa, who has her own musical project called Lenny, generally does the work of thrifting for clothes that align with an artist's vision, and Quinn creates the design to print on them. But first, let's go back.
Oh, what a beautiful story it is. Do you want to tell it, Quinn, or do you want me to?
Who is the sweeter angle? I think you do.
So Quinn and I met when we were both living in Vancouver, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago now, maybe? I don't know, or 5 or, yeah, maybe 7 years. It sounds like too long, but I think it's actually around that time frame. We met because my roommate was dating her roommate, and our roommate groups would get together and watch The Bachelor. I think that's where Quinn and I met, was watching The Bachelor, and then also I think probably just drunkenly at roommate parties. And we didn't actually really hang out or really talk at all. We just kind of met in passing a little bit. And then I guess maybe about 3 years later, I had moved to Montreal, and I was moved into this apartment that I found on Kijiji, and we were looking for other roommates. And there was one person that we had on the list to look at the house that we had as an option, and the door opens and it's Quinn walking up the stairs. I was like, I know you. And she was like, oh yeah, you're Kate's friend, Emma? And I was like, no, Lisa. Yeah, and then we just kind of became friends. And I remember the first night, I swear it was the first night that we were in the apartment together that you were there, Quinn. We sat on the balcony and we were talking about what we wanted to do. And Quinn was like, I want to start my own business. And I was like, me too. Yeah, I really want to do that too. Yeah, that's kind of how it started. And we were roommates for, I guess, a couple of years. We tried a couple trial business ideas. And then, yeah, and Positive Space has been the first one that's kind of stuck and that we've ran with. We were going to have a sock company.
Buck Sock.
Buck Sock. But the socks, I don't even think weren't even going to be a buck. They were going to be more. Or no, we were going to sell them for $1. Right. Okay. Barely make any money off of it. I don't know. We had these different angles at which we were approaching it, but I think eventually we just kind of got frustrated with how all of the things we were trying just involved mass consumerism, and it was not sustainable at all. And so it didn't ever really kind of feel like it really aligned with our values that much. So I think that's probably part of the reason why, we never really kind of continued with it, because it was yeah, this could be a way to make money. And then it just kind of ended there, basically.
It's true what Lisa's saying, yeah, they could make us money, or we always ran into problems. But I think the main problem was that somewhere along the line, we realized this doesn't add up. This doesn't align with our morals at all. The Buck Sock one, for example, that involved drop shipping. So we'd buy them really cheap from Alibaba and set up a storefront and make money kind of while we sleep. And that's kind of the 4-hour work week methodology that really doesn't resonate with me. And yeah, it took us, fleshing it out to really discover, okay, where are we really going with this, and what do we actually want to be building?
The positive space thing, it didn't actually really start out as like, oh, here's a great business idea, let's do this. It wasn't like that. It kind of just happened because I needed merch and I wanted Quinn to make the design. And once we had the design, I tried to order, 200 t-shirts off of For Imprint or whatever so many times. And I would get to the shopping cart stage, like the checkout page, and I just couldn't do it. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to order all these like boring t-shirts. I have to order so many. Like there's going to be like 20 people at my shows. Like I don't need this many shirts right now. It was like too many, and I didn't want to like be ordering them from so far away, and it just like really was not fitting well with me at all. And then Quinn was like, well, let's just print them ourselves. Like, let's just do it ourselves. And I was like, what? Can we do that? Oh my God, okay. So we just like went on this big exploration mission figuring out how to do that, and we ended up silk screening it ourselves. And I went to the thrift store to find a bunch of clothes to print on, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just look for like t-shirts, because that's what you always print on. And I ended up finding this amazing like high neck, kind of like Victorian style, beautiful cotton blouse with like big balloon sleeves. It was just so gorgeous. And I was like, I guess we could print on that too. Like, yeah. And so I just ended up finding all of these great pieces, like, because I love thrifting. I love finding cool stuff at thrift shops, and like it just kind of clicked. I was like, oh, we can make this so much more interesting. And so yeah, once it all got put together, like once it was all done, it was just such an interesting collection. And the people that came to my show were like super into it, and like a bunch of them sold in the first night. And I think when we saw how the process went and stuff, and we saw how well received it was, and we were like, okay, maybe we should do this. So we're doing it.
When I was describing the positive space pieces that I have in my closet at the beginning of this episode, I told you that 2 of them have the classic positive space line profile. A lot of their own designs feature a profile portrait of a face or faces drawn in one single gorgeous line.
The design that Quinn made for my merch, my Lenny merch, was this really cool, really simple line art design based off of an image of my face. I don't know, I love the way that Quinn draws. I love how she does it all. I don't know, like I'm not a visual artist in that way at all. Like, so every single thing that she makes, I'm like, what? Like I feel like I'm witnessing magic happen. It's so cool. And it just kind of like really fit with the vibe that I was going for my merch. Like it was really simple, but really artistic and really interesting. It had, the right amount of details that I was looking for. Yeah, it was just beautiful. And I loved it. And it was so fun putting it on vintage clothes.
And I think for our own line, we definitely have our own brand and our own aesthetic, which some artists I think really love, and they want their design to look like that, which is great. Like I love doing that too. But yeah, I guess we get like kind of creative and quirky with our designs too. Like a lot of it just comes from different expressions that we've come up with over the years. We have a big bank of like, this should be a design, this is hilarious, and it's just like a couple of words put together. I really love drawing the portraits in one line of like people that inspire me. We don't overthink it that much, I would say. It's more just what comes out in the moment, like in the spur of the moment. It's spontaneous. And I think like in my own art practice, that's how I am. I never really try to think about things too much. I don't really have the patience for it. I just try to like get it out there. And Lisa will tell you, like all of the designs you see on our own collection, it takes me like 30 seconds. I'm just like, okay, it looks good. Or, sometimes they don't turn out good, but sometimes they do. And maybe it takes like 100 iterations of those 30 seconds, but everyone is just so fast.
The designs are simple and elegant and made by Quinn, but a lot of the work she does isn't for their own line, but for artist merch, which requires a much more collaborative approach.
Merch, it's really not about me at that point. Like I really have to separate myself from what the client wants. And it's kind of a process I'm used to because I spent a lot of time freelancing. I was a graphic designer, freelancing, web designer, freelancing. So at some point, yes, you have your artistic input of things, but you really have to consider what does the client want to get out of that in the end. For me, how it starts is just talking, asking the right questions, asking for any kind of lookbook, inspiration, kind of vision boards or whatever have you. And then working with them, like fully embracing the feedback that I get and making the required changes. I listen to the music too. I think that really helps because there is something to be said about, you know, the branding aspect of it, which I'm not even sure if all of our artists are taking into consideration all the time. Sometimes it feels like an afterthought, which I totally get because for my own branding, it always feels like an afterthought. But yeah, I think there is something to be said about the unity of, you know, having consistent brand and having that, you know, resonate with the sound in some way or another. I really hate to go off nothing. So I really get them to try to describe as much as they can to me, either what they're looking for or what kind of inspiration they've taken in the past. If they can draw on any kind of like art or other musicians branding or anything like that, that always helps just guide me. If it is really vague, like one of our clients seemed like she wanted something feminine, something like soft but not too soft, and it was a little bit, it wasn't very descriptive, I guess. And I just kind of threw out, you know, 4 different things. Like usually I present them with 4 different designs and we take it from there.
While Quinn and Lisa used to do all the shopping together, as Positive Space has grown and it's gotten more important to be efficient with their time, Lisa has taken over the majority of the shopping, and the pieces that she's able to fish out of the discarded items of Montreal are truly astounding.
Usually when I first talk to an artist about what they're looking for in merch and everything, I try to get a sense of the kind of, you know, the general aesthetic of clothing that they're into, if there's a general, you know, vibe that they want, and if there's a color palette that they're interested in having. Obviously, it's hard to get super specific. Like if someone says like, oh, I only want like, I don't know, 60s mod clothing, like it's just not gonna, it's gonna take us like 2 years to find all of the clothes. But we can definitely adhere to kind of like a general style, general theme, general color palette. So I get that information from them, and then I go from there. One of our clients, Bermuda, she's based out of Quebec. She wanted, you know, really like a really fun kind of tropical summer vibes, like, you know, a lot of oversized clothing. And, you know, finding oversized clothing is great because it's like, it's unisex. It fits like a, you know, a wide range of bodies. So it's great for merch. So I ended up like, I feel like I ended up looking for like, you know, baller summer vibes. Like that's kind of what the merch ended up being. And she had this like really bold print on all of these like really cool, you know, tropical fun pattern pieces of clothing. Yeah, that turned out really fun. And then we had another client who wanted, you know, more subtle like beachy vibes, like inspired by the colors of the ocean and the beach. So like blue and beige and sand colors. Artists usually have like kind of a general idea of what they're looking for, but also sometimes people are like, you know what, I just want like basic, cool, maybe like rocker vibes, and we'll just go from there. So people can give us, you know, a specific kind of style, but they can also just be like, you can decide, and we'll kind of pick a range of clothing that we know will sell and that we know is, you know, interesting and creative. Like we always try to find a balance of basics that will always sell. Like if we find great t-shirts, we're going to pick those up, but we'll also throw in like cool button-ups and, you know, a cool long sleeve shirt or a vintage jacket or a really nice blouse, and sometimes a cool pair of pants or a dress if it works with the merch collection. It's so fun. It's such a great opportunity to bring like another level of creativity to the whole thing. Finding this really cool merch piece and then having, you know, Quinn's really cool print put on the clothing, it like totally changes the piece of clothing. Like it totally elevates it. It just makes it so much more interesting. It was awesome, you know, shopping together before because we just kind of like go a little buck wild and just like throw a million things in the cart, and then we can go through it all together and make kind of choices about what we're going to get before we actually buy things. And now I'm doing it on my own, so I have to learn how to be more independent and make decisions on my own without Quinn. So it's a good test for me, but also I'm not quite as decisive as Quinn. I'm not as good as her at like just being like, yeah, this will work, yeah, it'll be fine. I'm usually like, but what if it's not fine? So I have to like channel some Quinn energy when I'm making decisions on my own.
They took me to one of the places they get the clothes from, and damn, they were not kidding when they said it's a strange place. When we arrived, I was immediately struck by the volume of the music as well as the size of the place.
It's just this like massive warehouse of like huge bins of clothing, and it's like all sorts of clothing. Like there's no quality control like in terms of, oh, all the nice shirts are over here, like all the fancy blouses. It's not like categorized by type of clothing. You'll be picking up like a bed sheet, and then you'll be picking up like a tiny baby's pair of pants. Like it's just kind of like, so you're filtering through just like everything that's ever existed. It's definitely a lot. I feel like we've developed our like laser pointer, like our shark eyes, you know, like we've definitely improved the way that we find clothing now, but because you have to do it quickly. Like if you want to, you know, make your trip worthwhile, like you have to kind of be working at like lightning speed. Like as soon as we get there, we're like, okay, good luck, and we just like part ways, and then we're just like, it's a pretty like decent workout, just like throwing clothes around. Like yeah, and there's like sometimes there's like fights that break out. Like there's many, like there's like things get really heated.
Between me and the manager mostly.
Yeah, Quinn's got beef with the manager.
It had high warehouse ceilings, and the space seemed to be split into just two sections, clothes and stuff. Everything was contained within what looked like cattle feeding troughs, and I followed Quinn and Lisa over to the clothes side and began to dig.
Whoa, is that a Teletubby?
Is it one of those? Is it a Teletubby?
I think it's a Teletubby.
This is like homemade. Do you want a Teletubby costume?
I've always wanted a Teletubby costume. I might as well dig.
Yeah. This is like really like weird, bro. Why are there like what is this? Why are there so many costumes? What the hell? This is a clown costume.
This is definitely a clown costume. Yeah.
It's so weird.
I did my best to help out and find good pieces. I did find one good cotton shirt, but the color wasn't nice at all. I just didn't have the trained eye that they did. They seemed to be able to pull a good piece out from nowhere, like finding a diamond in a haystack.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, is that a dress?
No.
What is it? A
Like
shirt?
silly little top.
The buttons are on the side.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I kind of hate it.
Yeah.
Oh, but I kind of like this one with the little babies.
Oh. That reminds me, that's like, seems like if one of our moms went out for dinner. Right? Well, I mean, we can't print on it though. These are fun.
I don't know, I thought this could be like a cool look for me in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Some
Yeah.
overalls or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm trying to make bold fashion moves lately.
You're making bold fashion moves.
Ew, I didn't see this.
Considering the circumstances, it's amazing that they're able to put together the collections that they do. They both have an eye for a good piece and a good design, and they put them together perfectly. I noticed that they have this mini collection inside their line with a graphic that says Chatty Daddy. It seems random and funny, but somehow it just works.
We had breakfast with our friend, and her dad was in town, and so he came with us, and so it was the three of us and him having breakfast. And he was like he was an attractive guy. He's like an attractive older guy, and he also loved to chat. And there you have it.
It's so simple, but then again, it's like about a good friend of ours, dad.
Yeah.
And we get that question quite a bit, I think. Like it really draws in the attention, and it's such a fluid term, I think, too. So many people have been like, yes, that is me, you know? They've just taken it as their own identity. And I love that about it.
It's as if they just know how to combine random bits and pieces together into something that people will connect with. And honestly, there's something everyone will connect with. One of the benefits of picking through clothes from indiscriminate bins is that all the boundaries between which pieces are for whom are erased. At the core of the business, though, is the goal of sustainability, and when you think about it, what they're doing makes so much sense. So many of the musicians I know in the city integrate politics into their artistic practices, but so many of the tangible parts of the music industry are unsustainable. While we were talking, we joked about how many band t-shirts wrapped into rolls and taped up there must be in boxes under musicians' beds around Montreal.
Some pieces are just standalone, you know? They're adding something will not make them better. And yeah, we just want to give them an extra life, like where we're going to bring you, where we go to get our clothes. It is really, you know, the midway point between the thrift store and the dump. So when we're looking at pieces, it's not just like, oh, can we print on this, but like, oh, is this worth, you know, saving from the dump? A lot of the times the answer is yes. Like, it's an amazing vintage blouse, and it's already got its thing. Like, it's got enough going on, so we don't need to add anything to it, but we still just want to, like, I think both of us have that, you know, instinct of like, we need to save this piece. It's amazing, you know?
You know what? It's really funny because before I moved to Montreal, like one day I just had it in my mind. I was like, what if I just opened like a vintage shop in Montreal? And it was always just kind of like, it was never something I actually really like thought about actually doing. I've always been super into thrifting clothes. Like, I've always just been really into it. And the older I get, like, you know, the better I get at thrifting. And also just the more kind of committed I am to the sustainability aspect of it. It's just kind of like, it's like the cornerstone of our whole project, you know? Like, it's kind of it's like combining Quinn's amazing art with the concept that, like, you don't have to contribute to mass consumerism and to environmental degradation caused by, you know, the textiles industry. You don't have to contribute to that just to support an artist that you love. And I think that's like a valuable offer that we are providing for people. You know, it's really resonating with people. Like, we're meeting a lot of artists that are like, oh my God, yeah, I love this. Like, I don't want to buy all these, like, whatever, new crappy t-shirts that also are just, you know, not super interesting. Like, I mean, of course the design is interesting, but not everyone's going to want to wear like a unisex basic t-shirt every day, right?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've been learning, even after this project has began, you know, because it was always in my best interest to just be the most sustainable that I can as an individual, but within like my morals of creating a business, I don't want to contribute any further to that, like, and that is directly caused by me if it's my business, right? And I'm learning that, you know, there are ways to innovate in every single industry. You know, band merch is one of those industries. Like, yes, fashion. We already know there's like the slow fashion movement and vintage recycled clothing, which isn't really marketed in the same way as sustainable. It's vintage and it's cool and it's unique, but you know, that sustainability aspect of it is so important. Fast fashion industry contributes to 10% of the annual global carbon emissions. Just from like shipping and water, everything that's involved. So yeah, I think that every industry has a responsibility of looking in a different direction and realizing like, what can we be doing to just choose a more sustainable option? And yeah, that includes musicians and how they make money.
Yeah, I think it's really important to us to be able to mobilize musicians to have a sustainable offer for their fans and their supporters. So, you know, so many of the artists that we know, like, we're both pretty, I mean, I'm a musician, like, we're both really connected to the music scene here. And like, most people that we know like don't like they thrift shop themselves, like they find a lot of their clothes thrifted, right? Like it just doesn't make sense. Like it's kind of off brand in some ways to have to go the traditional route of getting merch printed on new clothing. So it's important to us to keep doing this too. And I think because we're not seeing anyone else doing this and offering this for artists, like it feels valuable to us and it seems valuable to other people. And so we want to keep doing it and keep building on what we're doing and just make it more mainstream to have this kind of offer. Think about like if you're an artist who's like starting out and you have to buy like 200 or 300 or whatever new t-shirts and you maybe sell like half of them, say like in a year or so. Like think about how many t-shirts, and like there are so many musicians in Montreal. Like think about how many shitty t-shirts we're like ordering, the massive carbon footprint that has, and how many materials. Like the textiles industry like is responsible for so much environmental degradation. Like it's a pretty nasty industry, you know, like it's marketed to be this beautiful thing and they make it all about like personal choice and personal style, but it's like, you know, really supporting things that I know most of us don't really believe in. So it's really important to us to offer that alternative, that more sustainable alternative. A cool thing about us too is that, you know, because we're two people working with our printer, we're not making massive batches of merch, you know. We're making upwards of like around 80 pieces per order. So, you know, it's a great kind of option for a limited run of branded merch too. People are like selling their merch quickly with us and then they're just getting more orders, you know, instead of being forced to buy a massive amount and maybe not selling it. You know, and a lot of artists right now aren't, you know, they're not releasing albums, they're releasing EPs or they're releasing singles. Like some people are only releasing singles, right? So like if you want to build some hype and do some promo around releasing a single, you can get like 40 or 60 shirts from us. And that can be your offer, and it can be just to do with that single, and you can, you know, brand the design to do with the feeling and the vibe of that song specifically. So it's an interesting offer, and you could have like a different collection of merch for each single, you know?
I'm dreaming of the day when every show I go to, I walk over to the merch tables and every artist has unique, sustainable merch for me to choose from, and that I can be excited not only to rep the band, but also what they stand for. Sustainable merch might not fix climate change, but the music industry is a large enough niche that this approach is one way that artists can make a solid impact. If you want to be part of it, check out Positive Space on Instagram and Etsy at PositiveSpaceMTL or on their website, positivespaceclothing.com. 10% of their shop sales are donated to Black Health Alliance Canada.
And it's fun being part of, you know, a statement that artists are making, which is, I care about, you know, environmental sustainability. I care about recycling clothing. I care about not contributing to, you know, fast fashion. Most people so far, unless they've made their own merch, like it's their first time doing something like this. So it's exciting to go on that journey together with artists.
You know, I was thinking back of even all the artists that I've collaborated with, and like the design process is always really fun. It's always very positive. There's never like that feeling that, you know, what I'm presenting is just getting shut down, or, you know, it's always just moving forward. And I see our artists selling their stuff and I see them winning awards and releasing music videos, and I just feel like a little bit of pride because they've spent all this time working with us and we have a part of like contributing to leveraging their career in a sense, like giving them this tool to like sell and make money from that. And yeah, I really enjoy all of it.
Also Cool Sounds Like is produced and edited by me, Alejandra, in collaboration with Also Cool Magazine. Music by Oren Ratowski. Artwork by Malaika Sorga. Check out the magazine at alsocoolmag.com or on Instagram at alsocoolmag. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other cool places you like to listen.